right. Hi, folks. Good evening. And we are here. Good evening to all of you. And so far, I can see some folks are already with us here. I can see 13 people currently on our live. I think it's probably on Facebook. These 13 people. But you can catch us on YouTube or you can share the link with anybody who would like to join us tonight. Let me first of all welcome all of you. I hope you can see my face. I'm trying to make eye contact with you. So I have to look at the screen too. So first of all, let me say welcome to all of you and thank you for being here tonight with me, with us on the virtual community dialogue. This is the second edition of season two. I call it season two of the virtual community dialogue. My name is Caesarina Paul. Folks call me C's and I'm good with that. You can call me C's. And I am very pleased tonight to have a program that we're going to just share about this wonderful individual here with me tonight, but also a bit about our community, the town of Portsmouth, Dominica, sports in Dominica, and other such pertinent matters that concern you and I. This program is truly about educating, it's about also informing people. Sometimes we see people we think we know them, but we don't quite know them. You might see this gentleman, you might see his alias on Facebook too, and you might assume, oh, I know Mr. Man. But truly, do you know him? So we will talk a little bit about that. Of course, we know this is February, and today is already the 5th day of February in 2021. And as you might know, or if you do not know, I want to remind or inform you that February is Black History Month. And as people of Black color, that is us, they call us colored, all sorts of terms, but we call ourselves Black people. We are called to be proud of our race, of our history, of our heritage. We are called to know a bit more about who we are, and of course, to cherish that part of us, our Blackness. There are lots of tremendous heroes who are Black men and Black women. Some have gone before us, some are still alive. Tonight, I can probably ask you, who is your Black hero? Have you thought about that lately? I have my heroes, and I'm sure you do have yours too. You may feel free to share that with us. If you have a hero, you can tell us who that person might be. For me, I tend to say that my first hero are my heroes are my parents, but especially my mother. At this time, my dad has passed, and may he rest in peace. But my mother is still alive. She is a hero. She worked hard, and she grew her children to the best of her ability. That's my hero, my Black hero. Who is your hero? Have you thought about that? I know you have, and I know you have thought about that. Okay, guys, so welcome. And as I said, tonight I have a special guest. As you might see here, my guest tonight is Mr. Ericson LeBlanc. And those of you who are his friends on Facebook, you know he goes by the name of As Asif Aman. And of course, there must be some reasons behind that. So maybe, just maybe, we will explore why Asif Aman? What is that? What does it mean? I thought it was a Muslim name. I say maybe he's still a Muslim, look at his beard. But he will tell us, and no crime in it, but he will tell us about it for sure. So let me welcome you. I see some of you here already. Some of you who like to trouble Erickson on Facebook, like Judy. I see you. Judy, yes, and I know what you're doing. You're calling Chad and Emil, two of Erickson's troublemaking friends. I think I can take the chance and say they're always fighting on Facebook. These gentlemen, I see their posts.
They must be logged on.
All right, so let me welcome Emil Diputa, Chad George, Mary Louise Moranci, Bopier. All right, she's telling us to come. Judy is asking her to come. And of course, Paula, I see you. Paula Azilot there in St. Martin. Welcome. You're always tuning and we're always happy to have you. Hi, Michelle. Michelle Gittens, nice to have you too. And Bert, I see you, Bert, from Coolidge Street. Bert Paul, always logging in to the prayer meetings and also to our virtual community dialogue. Judy, it's good to have you. Behave yourself tonight. Chad is there putting all sorts of
oh my God,
emojis, yes. So Chad is here, so trouble is here. So we want to not waste any time. What do you think? And want to go straight into our discussion. Yes, so this is Erickson, and I want to give a bio about the gentleman because some people think they know him, but probably they don't. And So bear with me as I read, okay? About my guest tonight. Ericson LeBlanc. He's an experienced network support technician with an extended history of working in the telecommunications industry. His skills span across computer network operations, technical support, engineering, and mobile communications. He's also a strong business development professional who graduated from the Portsmouth Secondary School. His stint of studies also afforded him the opportunity to study at the Cable and Wireless Lime Training College in Jamaica. Mr. Libla is a primarily self-taught IT technician who learned many of his basic skills at home from his tutor, his father. And he was so keen about his field that he went on to be a qualified individual with tertiary education qualifications in that field. He joined Cable and Wireless, now Flow, yes, in 1988, but only stayed for a short while and then left to pursue studies in sound reinforcement engineering at, well, somewhere in Greenwich, New York. It's what is that, LAR?
Institute of Audio Research.
Okay, so it's Institute of Audio Research in Greenwich, New York. Apparently, the music industry was not to be his future, and he moved on to work at Auto Trade Limited and also Springfield Trading, concentrating on network and technical support. However, Ericsson's passion was knocking at his door. Hence, he returned to cable and wireless as a telecommunications was his passion, sorry. Ericsson has worked and taught throughout the region in various cable and wireless business units, to include Barbados, St. Lucia, and the British Virgin Islands. By now, I think that list might even be longer. After leaving cable and wireless in 2016, Ericsson is still a dynamic worker. After Hurricane Maria, which destroyed about 80% of the island's telecommunications infrastructure, he helped in the restoration of communications to the north of the island. He also ensured that mobile communications was up and running in the northern part of the country. To place a crown on his achievement, he does IT support for Cricket West Indies. Ericson LeBlanc is indeed a matured telecommunication wizard. And I must also inform you that he was one of the named persons in Portsmouth as being a Hall of Famer in the town of Portsmouth. And that was in 2018 for Heritage Day, which was, as you know, a national activity. So, Mr. Libla, a lot about you here. How do you feel?
Honored,
I-
surprised. I think you still have that.
Yes,
Honored and surprised.
I still have that.
must say, yeah.
Yes, and I must tell you that as the person who was coordinating not the evaluation, but the exhibition part of it for the Heritage Day 2018, it was quite a distinct honor for me to get to know so much about you. Because I had to do the research, guys, to find out who are the people in Portsmouth that we could say this person is truly deserving to be in a Hall of Fame, or people in the town need to know about this person. And among all the different, people that were selected, Ericsson here was one of those people, particularly in IT and telecommunications, among others, but definitely he was one of the key persons standing up. And so somebody here says, Kara says, take a ball, Kara Basil. And very much so, we think that you deserve to take a ball as a young man. He's very modest, very humble. If you don't know, you just don't know. But everybody see you. Some people are afraid of you.
I know. I mean, it's not surprising. I think it's because of my voice.
Yes, that
One,
voice.
and I don't smile very often.
Right.
This might be one of the few moments that you might see me smiling.
Well, I'm happy that
You know what I mean?
I'm happy that you are smiling tonight.
But it's
Mhm.
when I smile and I feel, yeah, I'm free. I feel
Yes.
at ease
Yes.
just being here. So
I'm happy to hear.
so yes, I'm not surprised that you say that some people are scared of me. I mean,
Yes.
I'm looking at your comments now. I'm seeing somebody right from Portsmouth say,
Yes.
if it's he that is the Asifa man.
Are you
I
kidding?
mean, somebody from Portsmouth is saying that
Oh
on
my
your stuff.
goodness.
So yes, it's me.
Okay. So someone is asking, is he still working at Flow? That is Avril. Avril is my cousin. Avril, Andrew, I think she's the one who's probably asking that. She said, is he still working at Flow?
No, no, no. I left in 2016.
Right.
So I don't know if the host would like to dwell into that part of my life and stuff, but no, I'm no longer at Flow. I left in 2016, and my whole plan was after I left to just take a break for a year and then go back into telecoms thing. Unfortunately, I think soon after that, in 2017, we had Hurricane Maria.
Yes.
So that kind of changed plans.
Mm-hmm.
So as you rightly said, after that I came back for a short while to work with Flow, did some work with them for a while,
Yes.
and then I guess went back down. So I'm no longer with Flow.
So are you in isolation? Are you a hermit?
No, no, no,
Oh,
no, no,
okay,
no,
good.
no. I wouldn't say that. Definitely not.
All right. So I'm seeing a comment here. Bennett is saying, Trixie has tricks Mr. making people afraid him. So these are the people who know you and they know that jovial side of you. Clearly, you have a lot of friends, or do you consider them friends or acquaintances? I don't.
I do have a few friends. I do have a few friends, and I have a lot of acquaintances.
Right.
I've also made some good connections, as you said.
Yeah.
I worked in the region quite extensively, so I've made some very good connections
Right.
in the region. Jamaica, Turks and Caicos, Trinidad, Antigua. I mean, I have a lot of. You don't really want to call them friends, but you call them acquaintances.
Yes, but you,
Then
you could
you-
call it a net.
Yes,
You have
and
a
then you
network.
also have some friends.
Mm-hmm.
I have this one particular friend.
Yes.
We may not. There was one time we had not spoken for almost 4 years, and then we just saw, and it was like we just saw yesterday. And we have this one word that we say, shh. If he's listening,
Yes,
he
he
knows.
knows. All right, all right.
And that is what you call a friend.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I consider friends. You don't need to speak with them every day. Once you get to talk to them at one time, it's like you
It's
just
like
had
all
one
the
hour.
time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, I have.
So
I
I have
have
a,
friends.
I have a,
like
I have a few like that.
Mhm.
And then in terms of friends, I've had people who friends, and then
Mhm.
some things were said, and these are the same people that I call friends. So because of that, I kind of had to relook at those things that and kind of pull back, and that might have been where the name change came from.
Ah,
You know what I
okay.
mean? It was
Yes.
it was part of the whole
Mhm,
process.
mhm.
So as we go
Well,
further, we can
yes,
speak about that.
yes, certainly. Um, so someone, oh boy, let me tell you, those comments are coming quickly, but we will deal with some of the comments. But I think people are probably wondering, okay, especially the younger generation, who are these people? Earlier in the brief bio that I read about you, it said that your tutor was your dad. Can you tell folks who is your father?
All right. My father is Eric LeBlanc. Everybody know him as Slim,
Or
Slim Jim
Coco?
or Coco.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you look at facially,
Mhm.
I look a lot like my father. Unfortunately, and I'm not scared to say, we are not on the best of terms. My father and I are not the best in terms of, but I have never disrespected him, and I will not disrespect him going forward. But that's my father. My mother,
Before you go to your mother, let me, on behalf of all of us, yes, express our
yeah,
condolences to you. We know that you lost your mom most recently, and you were very close to your mother. So his mother was Junie, Junie, Junie Libla, but before that, she was Junie
Valentine.
Valentine. Why am I not thinking of Valentine? Yes, and that's a tough patch for him. So,
Yeah, you just really hit the soft spot. But
mhm,
with my mother, with C's, because a lot of people know C's is part of the church.
yeah,
My mother can be or should associate with the Catholic
for
Church.
sure.
You know what I mean? She is.
Mhm.
She was out of state for a number of years, but every time she came back, the first thing she would do, church. And I used to
Yeah.
make trouble about that. It's like,
Okay.
you come for vacation. I said for you, why are you in church?
Yes.
But this is something I could not take away from her. So a lot of people who's watching Caesarina's program, would know my mother
Yeah.
as the person in church. The lady would sing, do
Mhm.
choir and stuff.
Mhm.
My Bristol is my grandmother, is my Bristol. Actually, I'm the first grandchild of my grandparents on my
Okay.
mother's side.
All right.
On the father's side, which is the Liblers,
Yes.
family is huge, you know.
Mhm.
So this is parental background for Portsmouth for those who don't know.
Yeah. Well, I've had the I would say the privilege and the privilege of knowing both your parents. I know I grew up in Gutter, which is Cotton Hill, and your dad lives there. So I grew up knowing Coco. That's how we call him, Coco, over the
Yeah.
years. And of course, as I grew, I see people call him Slim, and he has a big Slim written on his truck. And your mom, I mean, I was a little girl when she went to the US. So probably I was very small. So I faintly remembered her. But interestingly, when she came back to Dominica, um, some years now, she knew me. She knew me in church singing, and she's the singing person. So yes, she was the singing person. So she always gravitated towards the choir, met me in the choir, always came to speak to me, even when I was leading the youth choir at church. So definitely, you're very right. I mean, your mom's heart was
Yeah.
church. She was a
Just
very
church, it was church,
committed
yeah.
woman, you know. So we want to of course express our condolences to you and
Appreciate it.
pray for strength because we know that that is a tough
Yeah,
stuff for
I
you.
haven't concluded yet.
Yeah.
Celebrating,
It will
I
take
haven't
time.
concluded. It will take because I've always said
Mhm.
until I can go back to New York
Okay.
and get
Yeah.
her body.
Mhm.
I mean, her body is no longer there. We
Yeah.
had to do what we had to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But until I can go there and get the earth, which is
Okay.
her body to me,
Yes. Yes.
and do stuff at the apartment and get
Mhm.
stuff, her
Mhm.
clothes,
Mhm.
her stuff that she had,
Yeah.
until I can do that, I won't get closure.
Get
It might take me 5 years,
you.
10 years.
Yes.
It doesn't really matter to me.
Mhm.
And my wife knows that, my kids
Mhm.
know that, my rest of my family know that. I mean, I'm not really an emotional person
Yeah.
except when I, I make noise with people. Chad, my friend, might tell you I'm always,
Yes. Yes.
But in terms of sharing the chair for my mother,
Mhm.
I still
Mhm.
do it every night.
Okay.
I mean, just mentioning there, just add a little.
Yes.
But
Yes.
it's something that I realize a lot of people tell me it will take
It
time,
will take
but
time.
it's,
Yes.
I really miss my mother. I
Yes.
really,
I see your
yeah,
posts sometimes on Facebook
I
when
really.
you express that from time to time, and everybody grieves differently. So of course we are thankful that you can actually express it too, and so your friends can reach out to you and remind
Yeah.
you that you're not alone in times like this. You referenced your wife and your children. Can you tell us a little bit more about your family, your immediate
All
family,
right. Okay.
Erickson's family then?
Well, again, everybody who knows me
Hmm.
knows my wife. My wife is
Yes.
Lydia.
Yes.
She used to work. A lot of people remember when she used to work at G&A.
Hmm.
G&A, which is
Very true.
presently where
Judy,
Judy has
yes,
her business now.
yes.
So that is where my wife is from Glanville, and that is where she worked. I mean, I have a joke she and I always share. She also, well, as a young girl, she used to work for a lady called Bernadette Thomas. But most people would know her working at G&A.
Okay.
So I'm married to this lady. We've been married for pretty close to 25 years.
Already?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's
Amazing.
pretty close.
Okay,
I
but
think it's just, I think it's
wow.
24.
Okay,
Or I
that's
think it's 23. And
okay. You,
I think it's 23.
guys, he's thinking it's 23, 24, 25. I can bet you if we ask Lydia, how long have you been married? To, she's gonna tell us like that at the tip of her
Yeah,
finger.
yeah, yeah.
So Lydia, kudos to you because I know you know how many years you've been married to this gentleman. So
Yeah,
kudos
and
to you.
we
Yes.
have two wonderful kids in
Yes.
Justin
Mhm.
and Astra, a boy
Yes.
and a girl. I know that she's tuned in because even before I left out, let me give her a shout out.
Okay,
So shout
lovely.
out Lydia, shout out Astra. Good evening to you guys.
Yes,
That's her
yes.
shout out. The next time is no more for you guys.
Ah, I will shout you off. Yes.
Yeah, so that's the
Mhm.
immediate family. You know, I mean, my family is so big, it's not funny.
Mm, I
You know what I
know,
mean?
I know.
So that's my home, that's my family.
Okay. It's a very tiny, you could say very tiny, neat family you have, immediate family that is, with you and your wife and your children. And Lydia is saying 21 years. You see, I think he wants to be married to you longer than 21 years, Lydia. So he's already projecting to the silver jubilee, which is like 25. So that is a good thing. That's a good sign. Maybe Chad might say, boy, Lydia would be to stay with Mister for 21 years. Chan might say that, and I know you'll have an answer for him, so
You
I'm
said
not
that.
going
No,
there.
I didn't worry about it.
So anyway, let's get back. So we commend you though for as a young man getting married and keeping your family together. 21 years you're married and you have a lovely son and a lovely daughter. I see how you cherish your children. They mean a lot to you.
Oh yes, oh yes. Well, I have other children, right?
Okay.
Yes, I do. I have a son
Mhm.
in Labo, right in Portsmouth there.
Okay.
He's what, almost 27, you know. But my kids at home, but
Yeah.
you see that was before
Yes, yes,
before marriage. So sometimes some people don't, you know.
yes.
But my children, yes, these are my prince and princess.
Yes.
I may not always tell them that,
Mhm.
but they know that I care about them a lot.
That he
You know,
loves us,
yeah.
that he cares about
It's
us.
and I would hate to say that it's been all glory days
Mhm.
in our relationship.
Right.
It's not that we've had our ups and downs as everybody
Every
else.
family
You know
has
what I
that.
mean?
Yeah.
But I've tried my best over the years to be there for my family. And there was at one time when my kids was growing up, when I used to be at Flow. I traveled so much that
Yeah.
my kids at one time it was affecting them. There was at one time I was in Jamaica for an extended period of time,
Mhm.
and when I speak to them on the phone, they were like, "When you coming home?" And they were much younger. They were
Mhm.
much younger.
Mhm.
But since then they've grown, and Astra is the one
Mhm.
that's really
Yes.
more
Clung to
to
daddy.
me, you know,
Yeah.
all the shit
Daddy's
is under
girl.
my, yeah.
She's a daddy's girl.
But I love my kids.
That's
I
good.
love my kids.
Happy to hear. My mommy is obsessed, probably saying they're not kids, they're children. She,
Yeah.
don't- my mother, that's a pet peeve. And I know a lot of people, they say children are not kids. Kids
Yeah.
are very troublesome. They are young goats and they're very troublesome. So don't call them kids.
Yes,
She's probably
Lauren, I know
saying
you
that.
extended family too. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we have a lot of shout outs here for you. Joycelyn, of course, our Joy Ali, as she goes by on Facebook.
That's my lady.
She's saying, that's my, oh, she said it. Lydia,
That's a
I'm
people.
laughing. That's my boy self. Yes, she said, that's my boy self. Then there's Michael R. Douglas. Same thing, I'm wondering, hold up your head. Also, they say, you're not looking at the
Oh my
camera.
God, that's a
Yeah.
guy in Antigua. That's my boss. That's my boss at the technical department of Cricket West Indies.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
Mike.
All right. So let's talk about that because
Mhm.
we want to go into your technical field, of course. There is so much history and so much that you have done. You spoke a bit about flow. You worked there. Before it was flow, before it was line, you worked at cable and wireless. That is how we remember you most. That's how a lot of us passing with the van, written cable
Yeah,
and
yeah,
wireless, then flow, then line, going all over the place, coming to fix some of our gadgets
yeah, yeah.
and so on at home. Do you want to talk a bit about
No,
your
sure, no
experience
problem, no
working
problem,
at
no problem.
cables? Mhm.
So where do I start? As you said, I
Mhm.
started off cable and wire as a very young man, 1988.
Yeah,
I mean, some
that's
people born here.
yeah.
Never forget. In
Mm-hmm.
September of 1988, I
Mm-hmm.
started off at cable and wires. But you see, in those days, right? In those days, and I will always say thank you to the gentleman, Merrill Wallace.
Okay.
Merrill Wallace was a person
Mm.
who, even to this day, he always said he's always wanted to see me at cable and wires. And he offered me a job at Cable and Wireless, and I came in 1988 as a, what you call a jointer in those days. People who put the cables together and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not stay long at that first time
Yeah.
because I was wild, I was rough. You know what I mean? I was a young man, and I only spent like maybe 8 months there until there was an incident, and they had to let me go. From there, I migrated,
Yeah.
went to study, came back after a few years, and then I think I came back with them in 93.
Mm-hmm.
93. I spent some time there again, spent some time with them doing same jointing work, working in the car territory. I remember clearly there was a guy, myself, named Frankie, and they used to call us the garbage team because like we were the ones, anytime there was a problem,
Yes.
we were the ones to go fix that. But then again, I left. I left to do the other stuff. Um, moved to auto trade, doing technical stuff. I moved like bumps around. I was like, I wasn't sure what I wanted
To
in those
be.
early years.
Ah, that's it.
And then I came back. And then by that time, I settled. And that was when internet was just starting to come into the country. You know, 1 meg modems and this thing. And during that time, cable and wireless was in a slightly transitional mode.
Mhm.
They were closing down certain businesses and getting rid of people. So by that time, Portsmouth, we had already closed on the Marigot office. For people who remember that there was an office in Marigot, and they were streamlining the Portsmouth department. So everything was coming from Roseau. Every time you needed to have something done, you had to have somebody from Roseau come. And you know, and others know, we had Ross.
Yeah.
We had the big Ross at Pika.
Yes, yes.
And our students and the landlords were starting to complain. So Cable and Wireless needed somebody in Portsmouth
Right.
that could handle that part of their business for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I came back in. So I came in and it was strictly to do with a lot of internet and stuff. And I worked in and around Pika. I mean, in almost every building in Pika, and among the buildings they were in
Yes,
Pika.
yes,
And then we started to open out to places like Penville, Baker, Scarif territory. And then my whole thing just started to expand. I started working throughout the whole north. At one point in time, I was only internet technician doing from Carib territory to Corey. Yeah, I mean the entire north.
So your whole day was
Yeah,
was
my
pretty
whole
much
day and my
taken.
whole night
Yes, yes,
was taken up
yes.
with internet. I wonder my phone wasn't going off. So sometimes I tell people
Mhm.
I've been in cable and wireless so long that even if it was in and out, but a lot of people associated me with cable and wireless from 1988.
Yeah.
But I have had a few in and out. Although the times that I was out, I was never really out.
So before you continue, you said that a lot of people associated you and still associate you with cable.
People still associate me with
Yeah,
cable
you
and
know,
wireless.
you like the brand, you know.
Yeah, people
I
still
hope
associate
cable
me
has
with cable and
realized that Ericsson is like the brand, and they should pay him.
wireless.
I mean, I know they paid you, but additional money.
Yeah.
The man is the brand. If you see Ericsson, you think something to do with internet, something to do with cable and wireless flow line, whatever you want to call it. That's the reality.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
among all the things that you have done and you
Yeah.
continue to do, and although you no longer work with them, it's amazing that when people see you, this is what they see. So it says something about the level of work that you have done, the quality of work that you have contributed, to the country, to the north, to the island.
I think it's also passion for what you do.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I always tell people everything that I do, I do it with a passion. I work, sports,
Mhm.
life,
Yes.
and because we have other members presently of Cable and Wireless, and you'll see them and as you said,
Yeah.
it's Mr. Relly Cable and Wireless. Because if you bring a passion to your work, and it's not to the job, I always tell people some people are there for the job,
Yeah.
which is the money,
Right.
not the work. If you bring the passion to your work
Mhm.
or your work ethics, it will show.
That's
And,
right.
and that might be what is going for me now.
Yeah.
Maybe why people still associate
I
me
think
with Cable
so.
and Wireless because
I
I
think
brought
so.
the passion to my work.
And that is good for you because I believe that anything you would launch or launch into, um, people will have a certain level of expectation of you that they think that you will deliver.
That's right.
If he touches it, it will work, right, guys? If he comes to your home and he tell you, okay, I'll fix that for you, you expect it to work because the man is a scientist. I don't know if you realize he's a scientist. You are a scientist, you know that, right?
No, no.
Not a mad scientist. That's mad scientist.
No, I'm still not a scientist. I'm still not a scientist.
Well, I call people like you who are creative, and I have
Yeah.
other friends like that. I have a friend who I think he can make anything. The only thing he cannot make is people. He hasn't tried that as yet, but he's really good. So I think I call him a scientist in that
Okay.
way. That's what I mean when so I think you are very creative, and so whenever you go out there, whatever you do, people see you and they expect a certain quality because that is what you brought
Yeah.
back then to your work. You had a certain level of professionalism when you entered somebody's home to do your job. So that says a lot about your personality. Put it all jokes aside. I think it does speak
Thanks,
very
yeah.
positively about you. Okay, so you worked there, then you went to auto trade, and then of course, in between all of that, you said that you worked at, or you continue to work with Cricket West Indies. Am I correct?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
what do you do with Cricket West Indies? He's
No.
not a cricketer, Kevin. I know he doesn't play cricket. Okay, so and Kevin is saying that's what his camera.
Not my
I'm
fault.
child,
Not
it's
my
not his
fault.
fault. Not his
Um,
fault. We're working on the technicality. We'll probably fix it later.
yes,
So,
I have done, and it's so strange, right?
mhm.
The whole working in Cricket West Indies or West Indies Cricket Board at the time
Right.
came about because of the same what you said, the professionalism and somebody wanted help.
Mhm.
So there was supposed to have been a cricket game in Dominica,
Yeah.
and Michael Douglas, who is maybe online there now,
Mm-hmm.
he was in Dominica, and stuff just was not working
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
And at the time, he called Mr. Nanton, who was the president, and said, "Boy, Manu, stuff is not working for us. We need to get somebody that can help us to fix it." And either Michael was in Dominica or he was not, or something. And apparently, Manu said that I know somebody. I know somebody.
Here we go.
And there was just one phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Erickson, we have this problem.
Yeah.
You need to fix it. And I fixed it for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, tell the plain truth,
Mm-hmm.
the only thing I knew about cricket
Yeah.
was people dressed in white, somebody sending a ball up to them.
You didn't.
I was
You
never,
didn't
re-
follow cricket
I
at all?
never followed cricket. I wasn't
Wow,
interested in cricket.
amazing.
And,
Joycelyn will not be happy to hear that. I know she's a fanatic.
and then after I fixed it for them, Mr. Douglas said, "Do you want to go watch the game?" I said, "No, I'm not interested in going to watch the game. I fixed your stuff for you." But he was giving me a free ticket. I went. I remember clearly. It was Bangladesh,
Yeah.
and myself and LD decided, let's go and watch cricket.
Yeah.
Well, it's not cricket we go and watch. We went
We
to have
know.
a few drinks.
If you say
You know what I mean? We're
LD,
gonna have a few drinks.
if you say LD, that's what
yes,
we
yeah, yeah.
expect. Yes.
And then the following year after that, I got this call from Michael Erickson. I need some help again. Do you want to start? And that thing, I think that was maybe like this was 12 years ago.
Okay.
And I've been with them ever since.
That's
So
amazing.
basically, I'm the go-to person
Mm-hmm.
when they have games in Dominica. And Mike and Cricket West Indies has a network of people throughout the region, but somehow every time he has an issue, he calls me. So I've gone to Antigua to work in his office. I've gone to Antigua to do stuff for him. I've gone to do regional games in Antigua and stuff. I've helped him out in other
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm one of his go-to people
Yeah.
when they cannot travel
Okay.
in the region.
One might be wondering, what do you do for them? I mean,
Okay.
do you have a word? Is there something, a term that you can use when you say that you work with
Yeah,
Cricket
okay.
West Indies?
Basically, you do what you call technical support. Because you have to remember,
Mhm.
when the regional teams come here,
Yeah.
so you also have, when the foreign teams come in, you
Mhm.
have the broadcast teams who come here,
Yes.
and then you also have regional reporters,
Mhm.
and these people, and photographers, and these people require internet and support. You also have a remote branch of Cricket West Indies office. So you must have at least 3 or 4 members of staff on island, on ground. And these people require internet and instant communication back with the office.
Right.
You also have the ticket sales. The ticket sales, which was,
Mhm. Mhm.
it's online.
Yeah.
So you have a remote ticket center in Dominica and has to be linked back
Mhm.
to the main ticket center, wherever it is, either in Antigua
Yeah.
or in India or whatever. And this, you cannot afford for the silver to go down because when you buy a ticket, it's not like you buy the ticket from the local office. You buy the ticket regionally, but it is printed locally. So basically, it was a support based, and it's full-time support. You would have to do support a month before the games, and if it's test games,
Mhm.
full-time day-to-day support for the duration of the games. And we're talking about
Mhm.
things like 20 reporters and a host of media people
Right.
that
Right.
require instantaneous internet
So
support.
do you get to hire other people?
Yes, yes, yes. I
Okay.
basically
Okay. I see.
when I did that, I have a contingent of people because it's not easy. It's not easy
It
to
sounds humongous
bouncing
to me.
about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
bouncing about. But you'd have to go ticket center, um, WICB's staff,
Mm-hmm.
the media and
Right.
stuff. So it used to be a lot of work. It used to be a lot of work. Sometimes I would leave for something like 4 o'clock in the morning to be at the stadium for
Right.
opening for 5 o'clock. So,
It's a lot.
but,
Well,
yeah.
Michael here, he says engineer, and he says I endorse that comment. So he's endorsing what you are saying. So
Yeah.
it's not a make-up story, guys. I mean, what he's saying is very authentic. He's talking about Michael R. Douglas, which is a very interesting name, by the way. He's not
As a
Dominican,
matter
is
of fact, the first time when he called me on the
Yes.
phone and he's like, "My name is Michael Douglas," I
Yeah.
said, "No, he's already there."
He's there.
That's what I told him on the phone. And then we know he's actually, I call him Jamaican Antiguan. He's
Okay.
a Jamaican by birth, but lives
Yes.
and works in Antigua.
Tiga. Okay,
We
nice.
become very good friends apart from he being my boss.
Great, great. All right, so that is good to know. So I suppose um, that experience as well, it empowers you. These are great things for your bio, for your CV, but not just that. I think the important thing is your reputation, what you leave out there, for people to talk about, to see. People can go back and say, boy, Mr. Hardus, we were well set. We didn't have to worry about being being online or streaming or getting our internet service intact, etc. So that is excellent about you. You you studied some music engineering as well. You actually went to music engineering
Yes,
school.
yes,
No,
yes.
I got the impression from reading your bio that you fell in love, or you probably always were in love with music. You had a relationship with music, but somewhere along the way, you and music, or you broke up. What has happened?
Okay, well, let's start.
Yes.
I started off playing,
Hmm.
but in the early days, it's like you had a number of guys want to play music. So you would go into the little band house, or you go. I know I followed musicians.
MFR. I think I've
Well,
seen you
MFR,
around.
MFR was just the other
Yeah,
day. MFR
but
was
even
just the
even even ceramics and all these local
yeah,
bands, I
no,
think I've seen you
this
around.
was just
these
the
ones.
other day. This was just the other day. These
Okay.
guys are pretty young, you know what I
Right.
mean? But we're talking about way back. I mean,
Mm.
Bert Bellamy is my cousin. And I remember as a little boy watching this guy and Cedric Plastic and Bowie and those fellas.
Yeah.
So I grew up in the days when Portsmouth had bands.
Right.
And at home, my father always had music from Bells Combo, Blaze Grow,
Hmm.
Grand Max, this real old kind of stuff. So
Right.
I grew up listening. So it's like at one time we used to go by King. You didn't know it.
Yeah.
It's called Pure Honey. You used to have
Yes.
a
Yes.
little
Of
stuff
course, I
there.
remember Mr.
So
King.
fellas used to go
Yeah, the
there.
whole band.
Fellas
Mr.
used to
King
go
had a
there. Fellas
band.
used to go there and
Yeah.
knock. We call it knock
Yes.
stuff and. But what I found out was everybody wanted to play the same instrument, and nobody knew how to make the instruments come together.
Right.
And as a young man, I said, nah, we needed technical people.
Mhm.
Now, I grew up in a kind of technical background, so I've always had that love. I say, boy, I need to learn to do that.
Mhm.
And I used to go through newspapers and look and see where was the cheapest school and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, long story short,
Mhm.
I got the opportunity to go to IAR,
Yeah.
or Institute of Audio Research, and I did a 18-month program with them. So I actually have a degree in live sound reinforcement, which has to do with live music,
Mhm.
mixing online and stuff, and also video production. So I have done
Wait.
some video production.
Pause. My people, all you hear now. Chad, Chad,
No,
I
I don't
know,
want to work for Chad.
Chad, I know you heard that. I know you heard that. But Chad is not the only person who heard. You spoke about videography, you spoke about audio, you spoke about engineering. Continue, sir.
Yeah. So
Continue.
and then and I came back after studied, got my degree. I came back to Dominica. I could have stayed like so many others, but I decided I was the person. I said, "Boy, you have this thing. You need to come back and make a mark in your country."
Mhm, mhm.
I remembered I applied at the time. There were two studios in Dominica. There was Mark Marie doing one thing, and there was this Robinson guy,
Yes.
Nature Island Studios, Ken Robinson.
Yeah.
And I used to apply to these guys and ask these guys, and nobody, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, but really, I did not have a degree in studio engineering. I had a degree in live sound.
Okay.
I happen to deal with live sound.
Get you.
Um, so over the years, I've worked with a number of bands doing this thing. A number of bands, as you say, you mentioned MFR, which is your
MFR,
band. There was
ceramics.
ceramics. There was
Yes.
another high voltage. I've worked with RSB. I've worked with WCK. I've
Yeah.
done stuff with Triple K. I've done stuff with Serenade, Bells Combo, with B Plus. You know what I mean? I've done stuff in Antigua with foreign bands. I've done stuff in Anguilla. I've worked in the US doing stuff for groups and stuff.
So what happened? I get the impression like you no longer do that.
No,
right?
I no longer do that.
What?
I no longer do that. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
And then, I'm not too long, it's not too long. Um, there was this influx
Mhm.
of engineers. Everybody became an engineer.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to say, we have quite a bit of people in Dominica that have become very good at things overnight.
Yeah.
With no form.
Medium one.
I mean, somehow Dominicans seem to be very talented.
Yes, yes.
Dominicans very
And
talented.
knowledgeable.
And very knowledgeable.
Yes.
But the other thing is that a lot of guys in Dominica started putting their own equipment together, having their own systems, and they became their own engineers. And then I just got so fed up of it that you would go to stuff. I hardly go to what you call jams or shows with the concept of going to a show. I am that person. If I go to a show, I go there and I listen to the mistakes. I listen to the errors. I listen to how bad the system sounds, and I become so critical of it that I don't enjoy the show. So I kind of tend to like not go because for so many years I worked in sound systems, and I'll be there working the sound system, doing some either some wiring, some mixing, some stuff that I cannot go to a show now and not listen to an error. So basically, I don't go.
So in other words, you are depriving yourself of some fun.
I don't think I'm not. I'm not.
No, you're not.
I'm not. I'm not.
So you don't. So you're contented with just not going.
Yeah. I'm quite good. I'm quite
So
happy with that.
how are we going to fix the problem then? When, and not the problem of you not going, but the problem of maybe the song is still bad. A lot of people still can't do this in Dominica, and you have that skill.
We can.
So
can
how do we fix
it.
it?
We can and we will. We will. There's a new association. Well, not new. There's an association app that
Okay.
we're hoping that will address that.
Yes.
But this is not now. So you want to know why?
Yeah.
A number of reasons. Family was one. Time.
Time for
And I basically got fed up with it because it's like there are so many other people doing it. It just did not become fun for me anymore. And I always tell people, if you don't like what you do anymore,
True.
it's time to move on.
Yeah. Passion.
If
Passion
you
is
don't
important.
have the passion for it,
Yeah.
leave it alone. So
Passion.
I kind of lost the passion for it.
But okay, respected. Earlier, Kara said something, and I want to go to it because I think it plays out quite well. No, she said there is a need for technical and vocational support in the local schools. Would that be an area of interest for you now? That you have pivoted out of the 9 to 5.
I've thought about it.
Okay.
I've thought about it, and I said if given the opportunity, I would. As a matter of fact, I have been working with academics,
Yeah.
but in sports, in the
Okay.
volleyball program.
Yes. Yes.
So I have thought about it, and I said if the opportunity, if there's yes, I would.
Okay, so you'd be open to teaching young people sound engineering.
I don't know if I can be a good teacher.
Why not?
I don't know because I've never
You never got the opportunity.
got the opportunity to sit in a classroom session and teach people.
I'm thinking,
Unless-
I'm thinking non-formal because I mean there is formal education with what Joy and these people do in the formal school system, but in the aspects of technical skills, teaching that not necessarily in a formal setting, but in a non-formal setting where you do more of the technical.
If the opportunity arises and I can, yes, I would.
So let's compare that then. Since you said you're not sure if you would be able to do that because you've never done it, let us compare. And we're taking a little transition from the technical to the sports aspect of it, where you are an avid sports man. You are very much invested in sports
Uh-huh.
at this time, and you can correct me. I'm subject to correction, but I think you are. And so you are a coach as far as
Yes,
I know.
I'm
You
a,
coach
I'm a
volleyball,
certified volleyball coach.
right?
Yes.
Certified volleyball. What does it take to coach mainly young people?
Again,
Yeah.
it's passion for what you do.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I have been, if you want to go back history, I have been in volleyball or doing volleyball
Yeah.
very close to 30 years.
Right.
You know, I stopped for a while and then I came back, and it's just something I love doing. I'm actually one of our national coaches.
Right.
I'm the vice president of the Volleyball Association,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I coach a Portsmouth.
Vice president.
Yes, and I coach a Portsmouth team
Right.
also together, 12 teams. We have men and women this year,
Hmm.
and also one of the school teams. But as you rightly said, it's like it's 2 hours a night.
Okay. 2 hours
It's
every night.
no, it's 2 hours. 2 hours on a Tuesday evening.
Okay, so one night a
So,
week.
yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes we do two.
Hmm.
But so it's like I haven't gotten that
Yeah.
to that position, that point yet where I feel I can go into a classroom kind of vibes
Mhm.
and teach
Well,
for that's why I say I'm not too sure if I can do that.
well, I think the mere fact that you've never experienced that, I think there are people on this chat tonight who might even believe very clearly that you can do that. You have Frederica
Well,
saying, "My brother from another mother,
which one?
always there for my mother and all the children." Frederica James.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Oh, yes. I remember you at her mom's birthday
Yes,
party.
yes, yes.
I remember
Frederica
that.
is like,
Yes. Um, there are people saying a number of things. So I believe that you have what it takes, the same characteristic that you employ.
well, but don't take me wrong.
Yeah.
I have taught before
Okay.
because at one time I was attached to the regional training school for
Okay.
cable and wireless,
Mm-hmm.
and I would have gone. There was this program that they use right now for
Right.
Liberate, and I was one of the point people
Mm-hmm.
going around the region
Training
training
people.
people to use it. So I'm not saying that I haven't taught before.
Right.
I have sat in class. I have been in classroom sessions and taught
Mm-hmm.
classes of people
Excellent.
like in Barbados. I
Yeah.
taught like 33 people in a classroom session for 2 weeks.
Excellent.
So I'm not saying that I cannot do, but
Mhm.
again too is like you
Passion.
travel for 2 weeks to
Yeah.
teach something that you're passionate
Right.
about.
Gets you.
You know
Gets
what I
you.
mean? So
So-
it's not like a full-time stuff that you do.
So I'm hearing constantly passion, 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 and that is the key thing. Judy here is suggesting that you should start with the youth division, and I'm very happy that I didn't want to plug that in. I mean, I work in youth division. As a matter of fact, on next week Saturday, I will give 25 years since I'm
Ah.
working at youth division. That's way too long, but
That's a lifetime.
it's a lifetime. Yes. So the point is, we train young people
Yeah.
in various types of skills, and I'm happy that Cara mentioned that because it really came to mind when she asked the question. It came to my mind that that's something we could train young people in because we
Yeah.
do not have enough people certified in that area and who would be able to go out and help us to have better sound when we go to a place, to have an activity. So I think that the fact that now you're telling me that you have trained people, be them for short weeks, short period of time. Maybe you study a short course. Maybe you don't even need to wait for a youth division or for an adult ed to start something. Maybe you can organize a training program and you'd be surprised. Maybe you will get a few people,
Yeah,
10,
but
15
but you
people who
see,
might be
sound
interested.
sound reinforcement is a bit different than because you would need to have the equipment
Definitely.
to teach people how
Right.
to do it. I mean, is one thing, and I've always said.
Mhm.
I mean, Frederica is listening, so she knows.
Mhm.
I placed a lot of emphasis on practical stuff,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean I don't have book knowledge.
Get you.
I have multiple degrees.
Yep. Did you all hear? The
No,
guy,
that's it.
he said he has multiple degrees.
Yeah.
Guys. All right.
Don't ask
so-
me where they are. I don't have them up on the walls. I
Right.
don't know where they are.
But you know.
But I have.
Right.
And one time there was a few years ago when I was studying and stuff. Frederica James told me, Erickson,
Mhm.
if you're not tired of doing it, you know what I mean? So, but I place a lot of emphasis on practical stuff.
Mhm.
And summer enforcement has a lot to do with practicality.
Yes.
You can't just take a book
Mhm.
and say,
But
I
that's-
learned in
But
summer
that's
enforcement.
what we teach.
Yeah,
And I understand
teach from the
need
book.
the need for the equipment.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I
that's
have,
what
I have books on sound reinforcement at home.
right. But
But
the
I can give
equipment,
it to you and you just read it and
yeah.
you'll get the stuff. You'll get the knowledge. You know what the decibel is. You know what sine waves are. Know what these are. But you really need to be able to put it in practice.
But do you think we have those equipments that, if, for example, to just to do a basic training
But
with
I do
some young
not.
people?
I do not
You
because
don't have.
over a couple of years, I basically gave out. When I just gave out
Yeah.
stuff that I had, I gave out, and I will. Another thing that happened
But
to
do you
me.
think there that stuff is accessible?
Yeah.
Right,
If it's
right,
in Dominica, yes,
right.
yes, yes.
So I mean,
But
it's
the reason why I'm going to tell you, I gave up. There was a point in life I just decided I was changing my life,
okay.
and that's when I left.
Hmm.
People will say the world,
Yes,
and I went into church, and
remember.
I just gave up everything I had,
Okay.
equipment. I just gave it all up. I just speakers stuff. I just gave it, and I started fresh again. Right? So that's why I said I don't have this stuff. I may not have the equipment to teach people now. I maybe can
Well,
come into the church and help.
I think we don't need to worry about maybe now the equipment, but I think it's something that you really, the knowledge is really necessary to be passed on. And I probably need to go and talk to my colleagues about the possibility of offering a program like this to young people, especially, as we are an island with so much talent, so much skill, that we can bring to the fore and have young people get more equipped with those skills. Bennett is saying that he can partner with you.
Yeah. Bennett is one of those people. Even when Bennett
Yes.
was just younger, Bennett used to come
Yes.
to Ericson, he used to show me certain
Very
things
good.
and that.
Yeah.
And it's amazing,
It's
eh?
Bennett's big.
Yeah, it's amazing that
Yes.
you work with these young people, all these young men
Yeah.
at the early age, and right now Bennett and I are
Colleagues,
almost colleagues.
colleagues, yes.
Basically, I work for Bennett.
And
I work
yes,
for Bennett in his business,
yes,
and Bennett
and works for
works
you.
with me in
Yeah.
my business. And I always tell people how I treated these young guys differently growing up.
Mhm.
Where would I be now? Bennett is a big man now,
Yeah.
and basically lift me up. Bennett is my very, very good
Yes.
boy.
He's very good to me
You know,
too,
you
guys.
know.
By the way, Bennett, shout out to you. Thank you so much, Bennett. Joseph, and he's the man. He has it's B and N and B, N and B Electricals.
Yeah.
Bennett does electrical work, and he helps so many people, and he has helped me too. Continues to help me. So Bennett, thank you so very much. It's that's your shout out from Erickson and I tonight. All right. So yes, I'm happy for that, and this is something I'm gonna really talk about with my colleagues and think about the possibility of looking at those types of training programs as well. I mean, looking at people like you to come on board and assist and empower our young people. You spoke about your involvement in the music association. Do you have any role on the executive or?
No, right. Basically, I'm just a member. So it's AMP, it's
Yeah.
Association of Music Professionals.
Right.
They just had a new executive
Yes.
elected.
I think
So
I heard
Michael,
Shelly
is the president. You have people like Michael. So I've been there with them
Okay.
in 2015,
Mhm.
and actually I administer one of the Facebook pages.
Okay.
But again, too, is because of I just decided to take a step back from the whole music business and not really upfront
Yeah.
into that again. But I will support the initiative,
Right.
and I still, as I told you, I still administer that one of the Facebook pages because I have the time. You know what I
Yes.
mean? I have the time. Some people don't have the time to do certain things, and I'm a computer person, so I'm always in front of the computer. So it's easier to help them as to Michelle, who's always all over the place.
Mhm.
So I'm not really, I'm not the executive, just
Okay.
a member for now.
All right. So you are. I also heard that. Okay. So you and Bennett you partner together sometimes in what you do. You are an entrepreneur.
Yes, that's correct.
Can
I
you
have my own business.
what's the name of your business?
My company is Millennium Solutions Limited.
Did you all know that, guys? His company is Millennium
Millennium Solutions Limited.
Solutions Limited.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. I think I saw that somewhere.
That name, we've been there. No,
I saw
there's
that
a lot of
somewhere.
millenniums in Dominica,
Okay, but
but Millennium Solutions
Mhm.
was the first.
okay.
Actually, that company started off.
I have to write that way
That
because I
company
was
started
remembering.
off with
Mhm.
with four business partners, with four friends,
Yes.
four people who decided what we wanted to do at the time
Mhm.
when internet was just coming out,
Yeah.
we opened up a cafe, an internet cafe in Portsmouth.
Mm-hmm.
So that was myself, the guy who owns D Blush now,
I
Fitz.
remember. I
Fitz.
remember that. Oh, you were in that
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
I remember.
Fitz is my very, very good
Good
partner.
friend. Okay.
Chris Wallace
Mm-hmm.
and another guy called Egbert. We started up the business. Um, Fitz put in some of the most into it, and after that myself.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, we had some little disagreements, as you know, young people
Yeah,
and
yeah.
people. The thing is, business wasn't booming, and then fellas felt, you know, what I mean, they can't handle it. So I stayed, and I struggled, and I
Yeah.
struggled.
Yeah.
And then Fitz said, Erickson, you know, take it over, and I've struggled with it. But I kept the business name, I
Okay.
kept everything,
Mm-hmm.
and so we started off as a internet service provider,
Yeah.
call it internet service provider, which is
Yeah.
but then I've branched out into so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a multifaceted company.
Mm-hmm.
We do all kind of stuff. I do all
So,
kind of stuff.
so what services can people contact Millennium? I'm sorry, my pen doesn't
Millennium
write, so I can't write
Solutions.
that.
Millennium
Solutions,
Solutions.
right? Limited. What are some of the services that?
It's everything that I do.
Okay,
It's everything that I do in terms of technical stuff.
right.
Networking, electricals, camera stuff, and, and lately we added, well, not lately, it's almost 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I started up another branch of Millennium, which was a
Security.
security business.
Yeah.
Again, I partnered with somebody else to do security when Ross and Picard there was a need
Yes.
for security services. And we had pretty close to 20 something officers working people.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, with me being, you know, I kind of separated from my business partner, and I wanted to provide a more. There was people was coming to me and saying that they needed something else, which was having to deal with courier going to the bank, carrying your letters,
Yes.
carrying money,
Yeah.
and I decided that's where I wanted
Okay.
to go. So my part of the business and Millennium now, which is our principal business, we run a courier
Mhm.
service. I have quite a bit of customers. Well, when I say quite a bit, I would love to have more
More
customers.
customers.
The
Okay.
thing is, I'll tell you the plain truth. People don't take it serious until something happens to them.
That's true.
I've seen too many people. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say it, yeah.
Maybe you should.
But I've seen too many
Maybe you
people
shouldn't
take a
don't
risk.
say. Yes,
Too many
yes.
people take a risk,
Yes, yes.
and it's only after
Mhm.
something happens
Too
that
late.
they realize.
Yeah.
So yes, so we do a courier service.
Okay,
a
so
courier
so people
service
can you can
yes.
contact
You can
Ericsson,
do that.
you can contact Millennium Solutions Limited, I think I got it right this time, for that sort of service as well, courier service, some level of security, and of course your IT needs. So I'm happy to hear
Yeah.
that. Okay, I'm happy to hear that. By the way, Cable and Wireless Flow, you guys should sponsor this program because this has really sold you tonight. So consider sponsoring one of my programs.
We have to call for that.
Yes, yes, they should do something for me. All right, so that's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. Let's go down into sports for a little bit.
Sure.
You are currently one of the members of the committee, which is organized, well, not just organizing, but actually running now and hosting now what is called the Nanton Insurance Basketball League in the town of Portsmouth. You guys you started sometime last year in November, and you had to stop. Can you tell us a little bit about, maybe give us a little background into
Sure.
the basketball league, how it came up, and what is the
Sure.
goal behind it and all of that? please?
Without a doubt, the person who's really needs to get
Mhm.
all the praise for that is Earl Matthew,
Okay.
the one we call Joe Bob.
Yes, Joe Bob. He
He
loves
is
basketball.
he is the
Mhm.
founder and the president of what we call the Northern Basketball League.
Okay.
Earl started that a few years ago,
Mhm.
and for a number of years he did it by himself.
Yes.
And how I came about in that was
Mhm.
again after Maria, we know the damages that we had in
Yes.
Boston,
Yeah.
and we actually lost the roof, the building on the back.
Mm-hmm.
So after Hurricane Maria, we were supposed to have the inter-school games in Dominica,
Yes.
and we needed to repair the facilities.
Right.
Now going back because I've always been into volleyball, you know, we have one court in Portsmouth, so
Yes.
I'm always on the court.
Right.
So I have, you know, you fight with volleyballers and basketballers.
Everybody
and
wants
netballers
to use the
who
one court, yes.
But so we have to repair the facility with the help of Sport Division and Mr. Trevor Schlickford.
Right. You're good boy.
And my good partner, yes. And we had to do the lights.
Mhm.
So basically, one day I just came on the court because I supposed to, you know, so just
Yeah,
come and help.
yeah.
And Earl is there. And Earl and I just clicked.
Yeah.
Earl and I just clicked. And Earl and I basically, we were the ones who did the lights together. Do the lights. And we went about. And Earl just said, Ericson, one day, I find me and you clicking so good. Can you come in the committee with me? Now, the previous time he had it, I would come there to watch the basketball. Um, I always told him, Earl, I want to help with the discipline because sometimes I sit down and I hear players cursing
Yeah,
about and it's
yeah.
not good, you know what I mean? So Earl just said, well, can you come on the committee with me? You know, because we look at what we working so good together. And that's what happened. Now, now, to tell you the playthrough, one day I heard a report on DVS radio.
Yeah.
Now, not taking anything from Earl, he's a
Mhm.
very good guy,
Yes.
but he
Yes.
stammers.
Yes, he does.
He
Yes.
stammers, he speaks bad. So I heard it. So he gave a report once, and I went in and I said, Earl, I don't want to put you under those pressures. I will deal with this. Let me deal with the media because I didn't like you. Know, I mean, I was very honest when he
Yes,
said,
yes,
Ericson,
yes.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
So basically, I became the face
And the voice.
and the voice
Yes, yes.
of Norman Basketball
Okay.
Committee, having to deal with
Yes.
CBS, Riceman, Facebook stuff, everything on that. So this is
So,
how.
so you do a lot of PR pretty
Yeah,
much.
so
for
this
them.
is how
Yeah.
it came out. As a matter of fact, we have games tonight, and I'm
Mhm.
not there, and I
Well-
know. But I told him I told him that I would have
Yes.
been here tonight.
Yes.
That I wouldn't, you know what I mean?
Yes. Kevin is giving you some pressure. Kevin is saying
Usual.
yes, he's supposed to be on the court all the time.
You see what I mean?
Yes, yes.
So,
yes.
so that's how it came about. The now, as you rightly said, we started off in October. Well, not
Yeah.
really October. We started off before that.
Okay.
We started off before that. But you know, we were in that COVID stuff since March.
Yes.
Since March.
Yes.
So we started off and we were looking at how can we start the league and whatever. So we wanted to start in April, but because we were in the middle of COVID, we delayed it and was looking at it. When we got the break,
Mhm.
we came back. So we started off, I think, in September, and we had some games up to October. And we had our protocols in place. Everything was in place. We sanitized, we do had our system. Unfortunately, we had one report of a
Yes,
suspected case.
yes.
And that kind of
Scary.
it was really
scare.
it was a serious
Yeah,
game
yeah.
because to tell you the plain truth, that one report, that one suspected case had pretty close to 100 people involved.
Yeah.
And it could have been more.
More.
Because the night that team played, they played against a team from Rosewood. So you had people going back to Rosewood.
Yeah.
So the night when we got the report, somehow my phone was off. But the next morning, like 5 o'clock, I'm up, you know what I mean? I'm always up at 5. And I turned on my phone and I saw this thing from message from Earl, and I was like, ooh, my goodness, we're in trouble. So
Yes.
from 5 o'clock that morning, it was just calls and making calls and things. And so we really had to put it on hold, and we put it on hold because of that stuff. Everybody knew I went on the radio
Yes, I
to empathize with the family and
Yes.
stuff. To this day, the young man mother still does me thank you because she said nobody had ever come to them and speak on behalf and stuff. But since then, everything has been a little on the lull. So we've restarted. We take again. It's a chance that you take it.
Yes.
We went to the authorities. I spoke with the people. I spoke with the authorities and they said, listen, do what you have to do. Make sure you follow the protocols. Make sure you do your sanitize. Make sure you educate people. And this is what we constantly try to do, even at the games. And that's why I try my best to be there at every time we have a game. We sanitize the place, the people, we talk to them. We educate it. Because this whole pandemic is all about education.
Definitely.
If you have to get it, you will get it. But if you don't, you have to educate yourself. So you know what I mean. So that's what we do. So we started off last weekend, and we had some wonderful games last weekend, and then we continue.
This weekend.
This weekend.
Yes, I
These
see
games.
you have about 3 games this
We
weekend.
have 3 games this week. Right, actually 6 games this
6 games
weekend.
rather.
It's basically 2 games per,
Per
per,
evening.
per evening.
So Friday,
If
Saturday,
if
Sunday.
the no, we also have the volleyball league has also commenced, the
Okay.
National Volleyball League, of which I'm a part of.
Mhm.
So what we try to do, if there's a game in Portsmouth, if we know beforehand, we
Yeah.
may do like one game
Okay.
a night because sometimes we really
We
volleyball.
do, we do.
But it still worked well because last weekend we had 2 volleyball games in Portsmouth and we still had 2 basketball games in the evenings. So it worked out, still worked out well for us. As long as the volleyball games can start on time,
Mhm.
start at 4, they would end by just around 7:30. That's around the time the basketball starts.
So how many teams are involved in the basketball league at this time?
Pretty close to, I think if I'm not mistaken, we have about 9 teams, 9 to 10 teams.
You have teams from Tables,
We have,
Roseau,
as a matter of fact, we
Portsmouth,
have 2 teams from Beirut.
right?
We
There's
have 2 teams from
Eagles,
Beirut. There's Eagles and there's Snipers.
Snipers, right?
We have the team from Wesley Marion, Westman.
Mhm.
We have a team from, we have two young teams that are part of the Double O and,
Yes. I
and
saw
Wash
two.
Race Academy,
Yes,
so we
I
call
saw.
them
I
Double
saw
O.
double
So we have
O,
Double O
double O
washers.
washers and washers
The
double O.
thing is
Yeah.
it's one team,
Okay.
right?
But they.
But we split them
Two,
because
yes.
there was so much. So we wanted to do Double O washers
Mhm.
purple, the
Okay.
color,
Yes.
and Double O washers red.
Ah,
But last week is the joke that came on. Earl said, no, we cannot have double O washers.
Right.
So he started calling one washers,
double
double O,
O. I
and
noticed
double O
that.
washers, just to
Right.
make the difference.
Very nice.
Because we were calling them double O washers purple because
Right.
of the uniform of double O washers red.
So we have sponsorship more or less from double O. In that
Yes,
regard
yes,
for
double O
this
is sponsoring all the
All-
uniforms,
that's
registration for
excellent.
it. It's just
Good
and that is made in tandem with
Yes.
adding on Douglas
thing.
Washway.
Right. Wash
He's the one coaching them
Yes.
as a program for these people.
Mhm.
Then we also have a very young PSS team, again, to it's under the auspices of no, well, really, Washway and the school, Washway
Right.
goes together in school.
Right.
And then there's another young team
Mhm.
from Benz.
Mhm.
And then we have the Police Sports Club, who's always supported us.
Okay.
And another,
The police sports club, is it the national? Is it national or is it just based here?
no, it's national, it's national, it's
National.
national. So if you have police officers in
Mhm.
Wesley, in that could be, they come together to play. It's the Police Sports Club.
Okay, that's
Police
great.
Sports Club.
Yeah.
And then we have two of the national basketball teams that take part in this. There's another team from Roseau, and then there's the senior guys, which is Double O,
Right.
and some fellas.
Yes, I saw
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
some photos of the senior guys, and oh my
Yeah,
goodness,
yeah.
they really some of these guys they really need to go on the court more often because not because you're senior guys
Yeah,
that you don't. Curtis, I know Curtis Lange loves basketball.
No, I must say,
Mhm.
I'm speaking all of this
Yes.
and saying it's really Earl and I'm the front.
Yes.
But we have the support
Yes.
of people
That's
like
exactly.
Curtis.
Exactly.
As a
Curtis
matter of
Langley.
fact, Curtis Langley.
Mhm.
Curtis Langley
Mhm.
is in the US, I think. I
He's
saw
here.
he's
I mean,
here.
he's
I
here.
think
He's in
here.
quarantine
He's
right now.
quarantine.
Yes.
And Curtis
I
Curtis
just-
said
I
that
feel it's-
Curtis Curtis sponsor the team, I
Yes,
believe.
yes.
Curtis sent balls, Curtis
Mhm.
sent whistles, Curtis
From
on
the
top of all of
shoes,
that, Curtis sent
uniforms,
stuff.
Yeah.
We have a new backboard that one of the young men of Andrew, I'm not sure if it's Exol or one of those guys,
Mhm.
purchased it and sent it down for us.
Wow. And these
So-
are these are guys who
and
spend
these are
lots
guys-
of time on the court.
These are guys raised on the
Home
court. They're
boys,
raised
yes.
on the court.
Yes.
Curtis is raised on the court. Curtis will come here and boast about nobody can take him on the court. I mean, he speaks a lot.
Yes,
He
yes.
speaks a lot,
But
but I
he
must say,
does.
he does.
Does a
He
lot, yeah.
follows up with actions.
Kudos
So,
to
yeah,
you,
yeah.
Curtis.
Kudos to you. He
Boca,
follows
as
up
they
with
call
his
you.
actions. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we're proud of you, bro.
So same thing I'm saying. Earl has a network of these guys who played basketball in
Yes.
Portsmouth, and they are out there doing very well for
Mhm.
themselves, and they've not forgotten.
Yes,
They've
yes.
not forgotten the rest of us.
Yeah, we must
Yeah,
remember Earl went overseas. He went to the
Yes,
US and
yes.
did basketball. While I think on a scholarship, he started school, and of course he was playing basketball there. And he has that love. He has never lost his
He's never
love
lost
and
it, yeah.
commitment and passion, which is what you speak about, passion for basketball. I'm very happy to see the local people committing,
Yeah,
the community
yeah.
people like the Double O's and the Washways and the Curtis and as you said, the Andrew brother and all these guys who come out and support our young people to play the sport and even to get scholarship. We just
Yeah, we know
we had-
Washway is doing so much
That's
of
right,
that. Washway is
that's
doing
right.
so much of that.
Mhm.
I mean, some people may not take Washington
Yeah.
because of other things.
Mm-hmm.
But Washington, Adina Douglas works a lot
Lot.
behind the scenes
Very
to
much.
help young people. I mean,
Very
we
much.
just saw Jake Von Hamilton through
Mm-hmm.
him having to go to on a scholarship. I mean,
Scholarship.
that guy, that man is doing a lot. I mean,
Yes.
almost every day,
He's on the ball.
night, in the
Yes.
morning, and
Yeah.
in the afternoon,
Mhm.
he's on the court, either helping the PSS boys and
Mhm.
girls or his own academy.
Yeah.
Every day,
So
you see him
yeah,
if he's back on board.
yes, he has an academy because
Yeah, he has
they
his own
meet,
academy.
and I think that's where all these little
Yeah, it is young people.
Hamiltons and so that's
Yeah,
really
yeah. He have his own
really
little academies. Every day that man is on the court, rain, snow, or
yeah,
shine, he's there. You know what I mean?
That's really
And that's and
that's
the
commitment.
and that's the passion
That's
that we speak
passion.
about. That's the passion.
Yes, I think Portsmouth has a lot of great sportsmen and women, and we don't even recognize what we have. And so when we have people like you giving so much to the young people in volleyball, coaching them, not just even community wise, but even on a national level, we do it. You do that. And then, of course, being committed to the basketball league as you are, it says a lot. And we are thankful for the work
Appreciate
that
that,
you all are doing, to make a difference in our community, to make a difference in the lives of the young people. Earlier, you said something that motivated you to want to assist with early basketball, and that was you said to him you want to come and help with the respect because you observe how a lot of people
Yeah.
just maybe swearing and cursing, breaking down each other verbally, and so on. And the word mentorship came to my mind, and not just mentorship, but male mentorship. Um, I think you are a mentor to these young people, especially the young men. I don't know if you see it that way.
I'm not too sure because
Mhm.
again, too, I don't know because maybe nobody ever told me that
I
before.
think you are. They could be looking
But
at you.
as you said, as you said, and
Mhm.
I I'm an autocratic person.
Very much so. We
Right?
know.
I'm an autocratic
And
person.
we know, not you guys, we know
Yeah.
he's autocratic.
But it doesn't necessarily
Yes.
mean that I mean bad for you.
Right.
I believe, and Portsmouth is a special place in the area. I don't know. We spend
Tell me more. Tell
we
me more.
spend so much
Tell me
money.
more.
We
Yes.
spend so much money
Mhm.
in that little house on the court.
Yeah.
And the government of Dominica spends so much money on that house on the court. And people will
And
vandalizing that. Just after, I mean, guys, we put a door to protect the lights,
Mhm.
and fellas broke the door down. The door that cost us 150 something. Fellas broke the door.
Yeah.
That's why eventually we had to end up putting metal doors. So I believe if you don't have some level of
Mhm.
autocracy, we
Mhm.
won't have anything in this place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, because of that, some people say that I'm always angry or I'm this or I'm that.
That's
You know
how
what I
people
mean?
that's
That's
how
how
people
people
see
see
you.
you
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
they really get to deal with you
Right.
and understand why.
Exactly.
And there's a reason why. Because if you just give up, we won't have anything.
Right.
Now, I must say, bloaters, over the years,
Oh yeah.
over the
How
years,
could you not mention
no, I will always
bloaters?
mention bloaters.
Okay,
I
good.
will always mention bloaters.
Bloaters respect to you, bro.
Over
Yeah.
the years,
Yeah.
bloaters has been the de facto
Yes.
ruler
Yes.
for a basketball court.
Very much so.
People is like when you hear bloaters,
Mm-hmm.
but he can only do so much.
Mhm.
He's aging, he's
Yeah.
not 100% health
Yeah.
wise.
Yeah.
So somebody have to do it.
Yeah.
Double O doesn't have the time.
Mhm.
Double O is one, although if you call Double O and say, no, come and help to fix it for me,
You
you
will
come.
come. Yeah.
But I always believe, and I told them, somebody has to take some level of control so we can protect what we have for tomorrow.
Sure.
If I mean, I don't have nothing to gain in that except that I want to come up with my volleyball or when I need to come up with volleyball. So again, that's where I came in
Yeah.
to have some level of control on that court because monies was spent there and monies are constantly spending there. And if you don't control it, you will lose it.
But yes, so I take that point, and I think it's very valuable. But I also want to go back to the point of mentorship. And even if you are an autocratic person, I think the mere fact that these young people are still with you, following you, when you're having these um, these coaching sessions, for example, they come to practice, they come to training. So there is something that you're doing. There is some level of mentorship that is occurring that allows them to keep coming back. Okay, so maybe you don't see it, maybe
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't. It's not called that. Yes, you coach, but I also think that, especially for the young men, I think they really need, or young men really need that level of mentorship. So We're thankful
I
for
think we
people
need
like
more.
you.
Yeah, we need
Yeah,
more.
more people
We
like
need more.
you.
We need more
Yeah,
people,
seriously, to be
definitely.
doing that.
We're
Yeah.
losing a lot of our young men this time.
Mhm,
It's sad.
mhm.
It's sad.
All right, so our time is quickly going, but I want to
Okay.
touch on that area too. I know that you volunteer and you're given a lot to the community as it pertains to the Posse Vibrations radio
That's
stations.
another,
I do
that's
you
another
laugh.
story.
Yes, yes. And tonight when we connected just before coming
Uh-huh.
here, I said, "Hey, remember we're on tonight?" And you said, "Yes, of course." And you said, "I'm just finished building
An antenna.
an antenna." Yes, he just finished building an antenna, guys. So I had to ask him if it's for him, if it's for somebody, you know. But Erickson, you are constantly doing something in the community, either for yourself, but also for people, for the community. Your involvement with Posse Vibrations. Right now, Ashton Revere, and of course, we want to thank Ashton for his commitment to wanting to see and to revive the Posse Vibrations radio station in the town, and he's busy working on that. But with people like you, a lot of support behind the scenes. People don't know that, but you
Yeah.
do all of that. So, tell us a little bit about that aspect of your work and or involvement as well.
With Pulse Vibration.
Yes, and maybe
All
just
right.
like the whole tower thing
Okay,
and the
okay.
antennas.
So Pulse
Yeah.
Vibration
Mhm.
is a brainchild of one of the guys I call my Elmer. He's an Elmer for me
Yes.
in radio, in ham radio. That's
Right.
what we call him.
Mhm.
Somebody you look up to and guides you now.
Right, right.
Winnie Brian.
Winnie Brian.
Well, he's not watching, so that's fine. I know he's not watching, so that's fine. But it's the brainchild of Win.
Yes, yes.
And Win and I
Yes.
worked together a number of years when we used to have sound system.
Yeah.
And I remember we building our
Mhm.
first radio out of, we built a first radio station.
Yes, yes.
So when Wayne brought this whole thing back up, I was still with the cable and wireless. I waited Ericsson by doing this thing again. I said, you know what? I don't have the time, but I will support you.
Yeah.
And Wayne and I are very close. People don't understand Wayne.
Mhm.
People don't, but Wayne and I are very, very close. So Wayne built this thing and it was up and running. Blah blah blah. He's home.
Mhm.
I came on board, would help him out. You know, again to behind the scenes,
Yeah.
help him out technical stuff. And then something happened, which we don't really need to go into.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
it
Yeah.
fell apart, and then I took it on. I took it over because Wayne said the only person he can hand it over to was me.
It's you. Yeah.
So I took it over and I put all the equipment at my house, and I ran the radio station at my house online for a few months.
Mhm.
And then Ashton came on board and stuff, and we decided, okay, let's do that, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
So we got this building.
Mhm.
One day I was out in the bush working, and I found some antennas, and I, you know, kind of stole the antennas.
Oh, please do not arrest
Yeah, that's
us.
okay,
Please
that's
do not.
okay.
All right.
And I decided we're bringing them down to
Yes,
stuff,
yes.
and we got some equipment, and I brought in other stuff. And Ashton and I at the time, we were really tight to bring. We got a building. That
Yeah.
building belonged to the government, to the
Mhm.
town council, and we
Yes.
really did that. And we ran this place, you know, basically out of our pockets for a number of. Again, to I behind the scenes, because people always say, Ericson, why don't see you on radio? But a lot of this stuff that was happening for Pulse Vibrations was done behind the scenes
Yes.
with me.
Very much.
Either getting the equipment up and running, coming, putting the towers up,
Mhm.
climbing the towers. No, it's not easy to climb a tower.
Yeah.
When you climb a mango tree and you feel easy,
Mhm.
think about climbing a 60-foot tower to put up equipment. So every time I would be on the tower, making sure everything was running. And then some things happened, and I just decided again,
Mhm.
it wasn't about me. I could have said, I'm going to quash everything, but I said, nah, Pulse Vibration is not mine.
Yeah.
It's not mine. It was equipment donated to sportsman owned. So I decided, you know what, I'm taking a step back. Again, I always do that. If I decide leave it alone.
You deal with stuff. You
Yeah,
withdraw. You
yeah,
withdraw
that's
from.
me.
Yeah, I
I
realize
just
that's your
withdraw some
style.
stuff. I just
Yes,
leave it
yes,
alone.
yes.
I tell you what I have to tell you. I don't get angry. I get angry, but
Yeah.
I don't hold stuff. And I moved away from it, and I always tell Ashton, and I always tell certain people, Pulse Vibrations, I see it as my child, but that child grew up, and left my house.
Mm.
I cannot hold on to it
Mhm, mhm.
like it's mine,
Yes.
personally. It outgrew me.
Mhm, mhm.
And other people took it on,
Yeah.
took on the challenge, and quite happy. I'm very happy
Mm-hmm.
to see where they are right now.
Right, right.
You know, there's a brand new team of people helping National out. There is, and they're doing well.
Well, yeah.
And I will not stop. And because Ashton came back to me
Mm-hmm.
and said, Ericsson, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know what? No, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you need help, if you need to climb the tower, I can come and climb it for you.
Right, right.
The only thing I kept I clamped on was the Facebook page.
Yes.
Because the Facebook page, basically I created it.
Mhm.
Will and myself created it.
Right.
So I kept because there was some things
Yeah.
happening on the page and
I get you.
certain people saying things on the
I
page
remember that.
that we had to
Yeah.
and Ashton Bill, Ashton
Yeah.
is different from me. Ashton believes in giving people a chance, but I believe you cut it off now. So that's the only thing that and some people may wonder, but why? If you don't have positive vibrations, why you still want to get the page? But it's like still my
Well,
job.
we still have the website as well. I think there was also was it a
Yeah, but the website, because we did not,
Yeah.
you know, you have to pay every so
Pay,
often,
yes,
and
yes.
money was always a problem in
Right,
positive vibration.
right.
Maybe you get to, we have people like Curtis,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Nick,
Yes, I
the
remember
two
these
doctors
guys.
you had, these are the
Yes,
guys,
yes.
Gloria,
Nathan,
these are the
Greg,
people
and
who are
Gloria.
always sending
Yeah.
money
To
to pay
support
to support the radio station.
Yeah.
So that was my involvement, and I'm quite happy that where it is now. But tell you, I'm no longer involved with the
Directly.
project because it's a project, and I am no longer involved with the project.
Well, I hope to get Ashton to one day to come on and talk about just positive vibrations and the projection, because really it's a community radio station and it served the community
And I think
during
more people need to support
right
it in the
exactly
community.
during Maria.
Yeah.
We saw the need
Yeah.
for having radio
Yeah, yeah,
station,
yeah.
and it was unfortunate that Maria did a lot of destructive things, and one of them was that the radio station suffered
Yeah.
equipment, etc. But as we said, that is trying to be rebuilt, and hopefully that we as a town, as a people, will come on board and support ours, make it our radio
But
station.
you see, the thing is, it will do injustice
Mhm.
to not mention it.
Yeah,
That a lot of people are seeing positive vibration as Ashton,
Ashton, yeah,
and his philosophies.
yeah, yeah,
But I think we need to put that aside.
true, true.
We need to put, and this is what is killing us in this town, this red, blue, green,
I
black,
think
and
so.
white stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a community radio station. This is the only one. This is, I mean, the only other company. There's no other community.
Except Granby, probably.
Granby went commercial, so they're no longer a community radio. They're a
Okay.
commercial radio station.
So
Ababa is a
was
commercial radio
now.
station.
Well, I suppose they were forced to go commercial
Yeah.
because again,
Yeah, they're
and I
commercial.
heard of there was one somewhere in the Western area.
They tried,
Yes,
but
yeah.
Portsmouth has its own
Right.
equipment. They just support it.
It's just to
And
support
and,
it.
and even at one time, Kerry Bree, I
Mhm.
say Kerry, this
Mayor.
is a voice.
Mhm.
You need to use it.
Yeah.
You need to use it. This is, I mean, and so many people listen to or listen
Listen,
to
yeah.
positive vibration. It was a breath of fresh air,
It was. Yeah.
and it allowed young people in Portsmouth
Yeah.
to show their skill in terms of DJing and a lot of people. I tell you, DJ Kubuli
Yes, I
had a
remember.
following, and people
Yes.
would send him money and send
Right.
him stuff just to, you know what I mean. So it's a following. It's a need. It's a breath of fresh air.
Definitely. So I hope we can get back to that and even have bigger with the community, us, we, Posse, and the neighboring communities, because Jubla used to hear it.
Yeah, man.
The
Yeah.
people all the way in Savantine, Cottage, and
No, the world
and
can hear it, you
used
know,
to hear it.
because
And the world was
once-
hearing
once
it
the
online.
internet
Exactly.
is the way to go. So.
Online. So I mean, it's all radio station, and I hope we'll come on that. But anyway, it's not so much about Posse.
Yeah.
It's about Ericsson right now. But we had to touch on that because you were very much involved in that. All right. So our time is quickly coming to an end. But what I would like is for you to maybe read the basketball league, just to go back a bit. Just give us a synopsis of probably how long you see this going. How long? When do you think it's going to end? What are the plans as far as maybe do you have an award ceremony plan and all of those things?
Yes. It's again, you never know when it's going to end because
Yeah.
we play in an outdoor facility. So
Okay.
sometimes you may
Sure,
lose
good
some
point.
games because of
Yeah.
weather. But all goes well. The league should end sometime in March, April. You know. And the president, I call it the president, Earl has big plans. Earl has big plans. we don't want
wanna
to
put it out
put it
there.
out now, but he
Yeah.
has big plans.
That's
And
just
anybody or any team who has played in the Northern Basketball League know He's a masterpiece. Once he tells you we'll have this thing,
Mhm.
and surprise, this is the only basketball league going on right now.
Yeah.
This is the only basketball league, and that's why people already look forward from even the guys from Rosewood look
Come
forward to
down.
coming down
Yeah.
to play. You know what I mean? The only thing what we and we again to education.
Crowd.
If you go into camp, we will try our best to manage. And as I said, we're taking a risk to having people really coming out there. But what we say, you come prepared.
Yes.
Walk with your mask, sanitize,
Sanitize, yeah.
family members stick together, try
Yes.
not to be too crowded. As a matter of fact,
So you have a PR constantly being played.
we're supposed to have
Yeah.
a audio system,
Yeah.
but we use one of the players, which is British system. But
Yes.
British has a bar, so
Okay.
sometimes his equipment
Yeah.
is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
His equipment is there.
That's important.
So again, we have a Facebook page and we try to put it out there.
Yeah.
And during the games, we just tell
During those
people,
games,
to,
yeah, you use the
we
microphone
tell
and you
people
remind
just to
people
remind
what
people,
about-
remind
yeah.
people, remind
Yeah.
people.
Mhm.
You know, so
Karim Farrell is saying, very good program. There's a saying, Jack of all trade, master of none, but he's one of the few who is the master of all. Wow.
thanks,
Thank you.
Curry. Thank you, Curry.
Karim, that's,
Yeah,
that's
young man,
excellent.
young man, I'm very impressed. I mean, I worked with him sometime. Well, when I was working at Flow at Ross, and I'm
Yes.
glad to see this. As I said, it's like you see these people grow up to become, and you could have you growing up being older than them,
Mhm.
and you could have done them certain things.
Yes.
Because so many people did young men didn't want to see these young men grow up now and
Yeah.
listening to him. He's listening to me
Yes,
now and
yes,
giving me my kudos,
yes,
and maybe and it's good as you said.
Mhm.
Some people look up to you that you don't even really know.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
as you said,
Karim is a very good
yeah, very
testimony,
positive guy,
very positive.
yeah.
As a matter of fact, I reached out to him today and I said, hey, I need you to come on my program one of those evenings. But we will work it out as to when and what we'll be talking about and all of that. Because these are the, honestly, my heart goes out especially to the young men because I think our young men all they need positive male role
Yeah.
models and people like you, Kareem, Curtis. We have some
Yeah.
Joe Bob, all these people. I mean, these are people that young people can look up to, the young men can look up to and say, hey, I'd like to be like Mr.
Yeah.
I'd like Mr. to be a mentor to me. And so on. It may not be in the formal sense, but when you pull them up, when you tell them, you guys, you can do that better, you know, um, I think it's like mentorship, you know. But we could have spoken about a lot more.
Yeah, but
You know, we cannot exhaust this gentleman. To be honest with you, he's also a photographer. I mean, he mentioned videography, but he is a photographer as well. As a matter of fact, some time ago, someone, Mr. Valerie, was getting married, a very good friend of his mom, and the day before, or was it the same day of the wedding? I got a call from Mr. Valerie saying, Miss Paul, I need somebody to take photos for me for my wedding.
Just a few days before.
Yes,
just a
yes,
few
it was,
days
and he
before.
was so, Erickson was so
Yeah.
kind. He was like, boy, okay, I will do that for him, you know, because he's my mom's good friend, my mother's good friend, you know, and his mom was still alive then, and Erickson did that for Mr. Valerie free of charge, and that was so kind.
Yeah,
It was just-
I've done a few weddings.
Yeah,
One
look,
of those
Judy
people, yeah,
says,
Judy, yes.
look, she says he took my wedding
I
pictures.
did Judy,
Yes.
did Judy's wedding. I did
Yes.
a couple of people,
Excellent.
just friends.
Pro
I decided
bono,
just
yes.
do it for them. You know,
Yes.
I have a camera at home. I haven't used
Right.
it in so long,
Very nice.
but you know what I mean.
So he's, as I told you, he's multi-talented, multifaceted person, and somebody we should all appreciate in our community, somebody we should all support. He has a business. If you need his services, please remember to reach out. You can get courier services from Millennium Solutions Limited. That's the name of his business. Courier services, security, and technical support, yes, in various IT areas. So don't be afraid, guys, to reach out to Mr. How can they reach you, by the way?
235-1269.
Say it again, 235
235-1269.
1269. So if you need to reach this gentleman, this is the number you need to call, all right, for his services. Any final remarks that you'd
Oh,
like to?
well, the name.
Oh, yes. No, we have to say, okay, guys, stick around. We want to talk a little bit about what is behind Asif Aman. I'll tell you, and I think I said it earlier. When the first time I saw this name, I was like, who is this? When I saw it, I was like, Eric, what kind of name is that? He's a Muslim? That looks like a Muslim name. That was my thing. Like, is he a Muslim or he just using a Muslim name? So I am learning that it's not, but he can tell us what is Asif Aman, why Asif Aman, why he calls himself that, because that's his alias on Facebook. Can you tell
My
the
good
folks?
friend in Canada say I'll be hearing from a Jack. Hearing from you for what?
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, so
Yes.
a lot of people
Hmm.
could not associate the person with the name.
Yeah.
There are still people to this day because I banter so much with people on Facebook in
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
jovial manner. I take Facebook. Facebook to me was is like a
Yeah,
stress
it's really
reliever.
good.
I tell people off. I do, you know. Um, but Asif Rahman is Hebrew, and you can anybody you can
Can
you're
Google
free
it.
to look it up.
Yeah.
The difference between Asif
Mm-hmm.
is Asif is a demon, man,
Okay.
Aman.
Yeah.
I was going through a phase in life and I just decided to change. I was going through a phase with my family
Mm-hmm.
and my mother. And Asif really means protector and gatherer. And a man, if I remember correctly, is truthful.
Okay.
So it's really what is like at one point in time I just decided I have to be there
Mm-hmm.
to protect and be gathering stuff
Yes.
for my family. My mother, because my mother was really starting to go a little down. She had multiple
Mm-hmm.
stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and that is when it really came on that I just needed
Yeah.
embrace that whole thing about myself, decide to change and be that protector and provider for my family. And that's what it really is. And at one time I was going to change it, but then I went to the registry
Yes.
and they gave me a kind of figure. I said,
Yes.
all I just to change a name,
Name. Yes. Yes.
a name that somebody wrote on a piece of paper
Right.
when you're born.
Right.
What is in a name? You
Right.
know what I mean? So I mean, they told me something about 40 something thousand dollars to change the name.
Oh my goodness.
So I said, all right, I'll
Mm-hmm.
just use it. I mean, then I put it on Facebook once and it came up like a big joke. And then
Yes.
around that same time, I was growing a beard.
Yes.
I was
Exactly.
growing a beard, and I went to the barber one time and he cut and I took the picture,
Mm-hmm.
and it just so happened that I just looked
Like,
like a Muslim kind of stuff. So they did this kind of
yes.
stuff. So that is what really is, and a
Yes.
lot of people
Okay.
couldn't associate who is this person, who is
Right.
so now you guys know
So it's a
it's that
gatherer,
same
a
person. It's
protector,
gatherer, protector,
provider.
provider.
That's amazing.
For
So do you
family.
still see yourself as
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Okay,
Who else can be the protector of your
right.
family? That's to
Right.
be the man.
That's it.
I mean, I've not been the best husband.
Mhm.
I've not been the best father. I mean, it would be a lie to say I've been the best. It would be a lie. But I still have to protect my family.
Definitely.
I have a wife and two young
Mhm.
children at home. I am the one who has to gather
True.
and provide for them. So the name still holds true
Very good.
as of starting from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It holds true even more so now during this pandemic. I mean,
Yeah.
even
Very good.
I cannot say I'm hurting so much that I lost my mom
Mhm.
in last year and I could not be there for her at the time. I have to do everything over the phone and everything over Facebook as the protector of my mother. And I was, so now I have to do so the name still holds true. You know, I mean, the name still holds true. So that is really what it is. I mean, we see people change their name so much here, there, everywhere on Facebook. And sometimes it's just for joke. But my Asif wasn't a joke.
It wasn't a
It
joke.
wasn't
Wow.
a joke.
Well,
It
I'm
was
happy
a joke.
to know that, because when I saw it, I just thought, I know people
Yeah.
just use random names
Yeah.
and give themselves a name on Facebook, for the sake of
No,
quote
it
unquote
wasn't a joke to
hiding
me.
behind what they say
Yeah.
and so on. And for you, it's more meaningful.
Yeah,
There's depth
there's
in
a
it.
meaning.
So,
As a matter of fact, I
yeah,
think if you go on my page, I
see.
broke it down, I
Yes.
broke down what it really meant.
Yes.
And every time it comes back as a reminder, I
You go
repost
back
it
to it.
because it wasn't a joke to me.
Very good.
It made me just think it's just a
Yeah.
name. Some people, I mean, I have friends that thought that they speak into a Middle Eastern person. People that do not respond because they just figure out who am I, who is that
Yes.
Asif, you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
But it's Hebrew
Okay.
and it has meaning to me.
Great meaning as well. So I appreciate your sharing that.
Yeah.
And guys, I have to say that this gentleman whom we see as Marvin Brady says, very forward, straightforward person, very outspoken. Everybody see him as this kind of person, but You can tell he has a tender heart. He's vulnerable. He has been vulnerable with us tonight, very authentic in what he has shared here. And there are so many other areas of his life that you could possibly have known. So get to know him, reach out to him, talk to him, support him as well. Okay, as we need to support each other. Earlier, before we started, that was what we were saying to each other, that we as a community need to build all people. We need to build each other up and not tear each other down. I know it's easier to tear people down, but we are called to do the better thing. As Barack Obama and his wife once
Yeah.
said, when they go low, we go high. Well,
Right.
well, we're called to always try to go higher, higher and higher, but not going higher and pulling down, kicking down somebody else, but going higher and pulling up somebody else with us as well. So that's the key. And I think that's the kind of
Yeah,
life that you live. And
yeah,
want to thank you for gracing me, gracing
You're
us
most welcome,
with your
man.
presence. Just being
You're
so,
most welcome.
I was so surprised when you said yes. I was like, whoa, so easily, And it's since in November, I wrote this letter for me to send to him, asking him to be a guest on the program. And for some reason, the basketball league got called up,
Yeah,
and I was like,
yeah.
okay, let me just put the brakes on it for a while. And I think I got inspired again to reach out, and I'm happy that you
No
accepted.
problem.
So thank you so much. And to all of you, um, friends here tonight, all of you who followed, you shared the live, you commented, you sent questions. I want to say thanks to you. I see
Do we
many
have
of you here.
questions? Do we?
Yes, I will actually
Yeah,
Carol gave us a question. Judy had a recommendation where she said Youth Division is always in need of uh oh wow, I didn't see that.
Bro, we're not looking at that, buddy. We out
Yeah.
of time. We're out of
Just
time. So
says,
thank you
yeah,
guys.
yeah. We're sorry that you were not hearing everything that we were saying, but we hope yeah, that's what Chad was just saying there. Kind of difficult to hear some of what he's saying. Or
Okay,
you,
yeah,
because
yeah,
your
yeah.
mic was
Okay,
too far.
okay.
Yes, but we hope that you can catch most of it. You caught most of it.
Chad has been a very good friend.
Friend to you.
Chad and I, we fight a lot.
Yes.
We fight a lot. It's not
Yes.
physical.
Mm-hmm.
We always make trouble
Yeah.
with each other.
I see
But
that.
we support each other a lot.
Very
I will
nice.
support Chad in any venture he's doing.
Yeah,
Chad is a
I'm very proud
Chad
of
is a
Chad,
very good
by
friend.
the
I'm
way.
very proud of Chad.
Yeah,
Chad is a
very,
very
very
good. People
proud of
think
him.
people
Yeah.
see our banter on Facebook and
Mhm.
think me and Chad have a thing. Chad was at my house the other day.
Yes, yes.
You know what I mean? So Chad, thanks for the support.
Yeah.
I hope you behave yourself with the comments tonight. I'm saying it loud. I hope you behave yourself with the comments tonight. And thanks Judy.
Kevin is asking that I bring you back some other time. So of course that is definitely an open door.
Love you.
Certainly. Mr. Michael Douglas is saying very good program, well worth it, and very informative. Big Erickson, respect my friend.
Thanks, man.
Judy is saying interesting program. I sacrificed my Friday Netflix evening. So I know you'll pick
And
some.
look, we have somebody all the way in
Yes.
England saying,
Uh-huh.
great interview, stayed up especially to see my brother. That's
Aw.
Lauren. That's Lauren.
Lauren Debo,
Yeah,
yes, wow, wonderful.
yeah.
Thank you all so much. Marvelyn Brady, Kareem, Bennett, those of you here, Edwina London in Houston. Yeah, we call her Julie. Thank you so
That's
much.
Earl's mom.
Earl's
That's
mom.
Earl's
Ah,
mom.
here we go. Earl's mom. Thank you for giving us Earl. He's such an asset to our community, and we really love Earl. He's very humble, very
Yeah,
soft
very,
spoken,
very.
another person worth talking to and getting to know. Kevin James, hopefully one day you will grace us with your presence as well, and Bennett and all the guys. So thank you all very much, and I want to wish everybody a splendid weekend. Remember, let us exercise those protocols, as Erickson so forcefully mentioned earlier, washing our hands, wearing our masks, keeping the distance and so on. We have to do that in order to protect our community, our nation, the world, by extension. So let's go forth and make a difference. And I'll see you around. Join me on Tuesday evening, God Spare Our Lives, for a live prayer meeting from 7 p.m. right here on Influences. If you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's a good time to do that. Just go ahead to YouTube, look for Influences by C's Paul, and just hit the little subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can the bell so you can know when I'm on any other time. Thank you very much. God bless you all. And
Good
soon
evening.
I see you. Yes. Christelle Antigas, she says my
Christelle.
neighbor. Yes, my neighbor. Remember she used to live in Gotham.
Yes.
That's right. All right, bye. Bye
Bye.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of followers.